Going to Revelation chapter 13. You're talking about the four great beasts. Revelation chapter 13 and 1. So John said, and I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horn 10 crowns, and upon his head the name of blasphemy. See, it's showing like all the 4 beasts in Daniel, and then Revelation chapter 1. 13 and 1, Revelation chapter 13 and 1. That's showing like the four beasts. But it left out the false prophet, because the false prophet come in like in Revelation chapter 13 and verse 11. You know, a lot of people saying that it's wrong like in chapter 1 and verse 1 and 2 of Revelation chapter 13. But it's not true. See, false prophet from Rome come in Revelation 13 and 11. The second beast is the false prophet. Cause people to receive the mark of the beast. But the mark of the beast come out before. That don't just come out in one day. You know, he just going to remain. When he get in the office, just going to demand for everybody to have the mark or the number or the name of the beast in order to buy and sell. You got to understand that. Alright. Say, stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea. See, a beast. You got to get that showing that as a wonder, because they continue one after another. For the one get out, the other one comes in. See. Okay, you go back to Daniel chapter 2, starting 2. And Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the 4 wings of the heaven strove upon the great sea. See, strove wing of the heaven, the 4 beasts, you know, they're going to fight upon the earth. The wind represents war, fight upon the earth. They strive, see, upon the great sea. Sea represents people. They're going to make war. See, they're going to have wars and rumors of wars. It's like when with China, when with Taiwan, there'll be another war, just like with Russia and Ukraine. See, but China could be part of the 3rd beast. Those beasts make war. They kill. That's why the Bible calls it beast. It's like an animal, a lion, tiger, and stuff. They see an animal they want, they be hungry, they will kill those other beasts, those other animals. See, for their survival. See, all those beasts have kingdom, empire. See, and they're going to protect their empire and survive. They kill. They make war, attack. Most of the time, like I said, an animal attack you at night. You know, if you just pay attention. All right, and verse 3 says, and 4 great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. See, they are different. They're diverse. They're different from one another. Like Russia is different from the United States and Britain. China is different from Russia. You know. See, they are the bear, Russian bear. Like I say, different. Different from China. Different from the United States. You know. And the false prophet from the Vatican are different from them other religion. They all want to protect their empire. That's how it is. You know, people just be deceived. You see, that's Satan, run by Satan, that system. And get worse and worse, more and more people getting deceived, Iniquity come to his full, then the Antichrist will come in. That last false prophet. Nobody know who he's gonna be. Just like this Pope, nobody knows it's gonna be a Pope from the U.S. or that Pope, because a lot of times they have different cardinal in the same country, and they might choose one of them. Nobody knows which one you're gonna choose. See, nobody knows. People are saying it was George Bush or Hillary Clinton. I mean, not here, Bill Clinton. Carlos. Different names they were saying. Henry Kissinger, all that. Ronald Reagan. All different type of names they're saying it's the Antichrist. But nobody knows who's the Antichrist. He's going to be revealed in his time, just like that Pope there was revealed in his time. You seen the smoke come out the chimney, then he stepped on the balcony, then the people seen him, wave to the people. Then you know who the Pope was. Same with the Antichrist. He'll be revealed. That's why the Bible says he'll be revealed in his time. Alright. Say 4 great beasts came up from the sea. They diverse one from another. See, they were different. Alright. And then saying like in verse 4, I'm just gonna go over this, show you how just going over it like this. Kind of touch on it, explain. Alright. And verse 4 said, the first like a lion had eagle wings. See, I beheld until the wings thereof were plucked, and they were lifted up from the earth, and made to stand upon its feet as a man. And a man's heart was given to it. See, we don't have a heart after God. Come on, in the United States. We done left God. We're leaving all God's commandments. See, and the people can't see, and it's the church people. Church then fell away from God, and they started falling further and further away from God. See, like in the first Babylon, they left all of His commandments. The Bible says. That's a way of getting now. That's why I say it's gonna be like in the days of Noah, in the days of Lot. See, everybody was wicked. God destroyed like the days of Lot. He destroyed everybody. The days of Noah, man, women, children, everybody. So. And a lot of times, except Lot and his wife and two daughters. But they looked back, his wife looked back, she got turned into a pillar of salt. See? In Noah time, Noah and his wife and 2 sons and 3 sons and their wife. See, only 8 souls were saved. See? It's a remnant. God always warned the people. He sent a prophet before. Lord God will do nothing, but He revealed His secret to His servant the prophet. He usually warned. He tell His servant before He do anything. Just like He told Noah. Just like He told Abraham before He destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. He told Jeremiah before the first Jerusalem got taken off. Then at the end time He will tell the 2 witnesses. And a lot of preachers believe that there ain't going to be no 2 witnesses. But there's going to be a man with people that's going to be teaching the law and the prophet. But there's going to be 2 witnesses like the Bible said. They're going to come the spirit of Moses and Elijah. The people ain't going to believe them. That's why they're going to kill them. And Jerusalem are going to go into captivity. They're going to set up an image. And Jerusalem is going to go into captivity after they kill the 2 witnesses. They're going to set up that image, and Jerusalem is going to go into captivity. See, they couldn't take over Jerusalem because the 2 witnesses was there. The Antichrist got rid of the 2 witnesses. After they finished their testimony, they were killed. And then they set up an abomination They make it this and that, and make an image or something, some kind of image. Make, maybe a statue like, statue like Nebuchadnezzar. They gonna be able to speak, because they make robots now. Like they tell people, they make robots. They can put it like in a body, face of a man, like the day Terminator. And do all type of tests. Time goes on, they get better and better after things. The computer speak better, answer things just like human, be like a human. All right, a lot of people don't believe a lot of things, the technology they have. They can do all this. And back then, in Nebuchadnezzar time, they couldn't make no image speak, but they did set up an image like that. And now they can make it speak, talk, all that. Walk like a human, put flesh in it. Can do all these things. As time go on, to get better and better at it. Alrighty. See, you just don't have a heart after God no more. We're lifted up from the earth. See, we've gone out of space now. See, it's all going out of space. Everybody, even China, all of them going out of space. They want to make a living up there, out of space. You're lifted up from the earth, made to sound feel like a man heart was given. You don't have a heart after God now. They believe in that technology. Alright, verse 5 says, and behold, another beast is second like unto a bear. See, like a bear, the Russian bear. See, before that, all there was like the first beast way back in Nebuchadnezzar time. It was Babylon. But the end time, it's like the United States and Britain. The first one like a lion had eagle wing. This is our symbol, eagle. Britain symbol is a lion. Where it came from, Britain. So, first was like a lion had eagle wing. That's the first beast. And the second, like unto a bear, it was the Persian Empire back then. At the end time, it's a different nation. You gotta understand that. See, the end time is the Russian bear. It's to repeat itself. The Bible is talking about the end time here. And the leopard, you see, I'm going to finish with the bear. See, and it had raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. See, he had 3 ribs, 3 countries in his mouth. I was telling you. He got Ukraine, part of Ukraine, 3 ribs. Remember in the beginning, God took a rib and created a woman. See, he took a rib from a man and created a woman. It's because the woman is part of the man. So Russian said Crimea, he said, I think Chechnya too, he said it's part of the Russian Federation. That's why Crimea, I think, was Chechnya was trying to break away from Russia in 1981 or something. 91, I think, 91 or 92 when Chechnya were trying to break away from Russia, but Russia didn't let them break away. They made war. So Russia said Chechnya was part of the Russian Federation, just like he said Crimea, all those places that he have now, and Ukraine is part of the Russian Federation. Then in Georgia, 20% of Georgia, he said in 2008, he took 20% of Georgia. He said that's part of the Russian Federation. So he had 3 ribs in his mouth, 3 countries in his mouth. It could be Chechen, I don't know, but I know about Ukraine and Georgia. He got in his mouth. But like I said, it could be the other one. Could be Chechnya, because he didn't want Chechnya to break away from the Russian Federation. All right. He said he had 3 ribs in his mouth between the teeth of it. And they said, thus unto it arrive, devour much flesh. See, why Russia is killing a lot of people in Ukraine. Devour much flesh. You maybe haven't seen that. You might kill more people in there before it's all over. There's going to be wars and rumors of war. Even though it might say have peace, they will start doing the same thing all over again. You know. Alright, and verse 6 says, after this I beheld, and lo, another like to a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. See, it'd be like a leopard. And back then, a leopard was never. I think it was. It's not the Persian Empire, the Greek Empire. Yeah, the leopard was the Greek Empire, the 3rd beast. See, from Alexander the Great, they had 4 generals. So at the end time, the 4 beasts could be China, Russia, and Britain, and the false prophet from the Vatican. See, but back then, like I said, it was Alexander the Great, but the end time is different. It'd be different nation, you know, different kingdom. You gotta understand that. That's what these people don't understand. Mostly these preachers be talking about Daniel chapter 7, you know, but it's dealing with the end time. All right, verse 7. He said, after this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful, terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth, and devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. See, 10 horns. The beast gonna have 10 horns after the 3rd beast. We're not there yet. We're just in the 1st and the 2nd beast. The lion with eagle wing, and the bear, Russian bear at the end time. Britain, United States, and the Russian bear. You know, are they using Ukraine? You know, like they don't want to fight directly with each other, so they're using Ukraine to fight each other. All right, in verse, you see, they had 10 horns. And verse 8 said, and I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. See, that's the false prophet. He got out from the 3rd beast, he got with the 10th king when it showed up. So I considered the horn, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, this horn were eyes like the eyes of men, and a mouth speaking great things. See, he came among those 10 kings, and he plucked her after he got with the 10 king. He plucked up them other 3 who he was with in the 3rd beast, that false prophet. The false prophet was among the 4 of them that was in the 3rd beast. He got out when the 10 horns showed up. He got out. And he got with the 10 king, and he plucked those other 3 kings who he was with, like Russia, China, and Britain. He plucked them up. And then the 10 horn, he gave power to those 10 kingdoms. 10 kings ruled the world, took over, and made war. Just the final beast. You can go down like in verse 20. See, just read a little difference. In verse 20 it says, of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom there were 3 of the first horn plucked up. 3 of the first horn that had eyes and a mouth. I'm going to read it all over again. Let me see. Excuse me. And verse 20 said, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose looks were more stout than his fellow. See, yeah, he plucked up 3. He said subdued, not subdued, but he said 3 fell. See, right here in chapter 8, 7 and 8, he said he plucked up 3 of the first horn. Over here he said 3 fell. Is the same thing, just read a little different. In verse 24 it says, and the 10 horn out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first. See, he will be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. See, you got subdue right here. It says subdue 3 kings. It's the same thing as verse 20 is the same, and 7 and 8 is the same, and verse 24 is the same. And this in verse 24 he said he subdued 3 kings. In verse 20 he said 3 fell. In verse 8 or 7 and 8 he said he plucked 3 up. It's the same. Just read a little different, but it's the same. But the 10 horn come first. You always remember the 10 horn come first. The little horn get out from the third being and get with the 10 king. Then when he got with the 10 king, he plucked those other 3 who he was with. Yeah, preacher don't tell you that because most of them don't understand it. That's why I like to go over a little bit with you, go over this thing. I'm going to go into Daniel 8 so you can see what I'm talking about. But thank y'all, and may God bless y'all and give y'all wisdom and knowledge and understanding of His Word.